Hello, welcome to All Things Covered with Patrick Peterson and Bryant McFadden, part of the CBS Sports Podcast Network. Man, the name says it all. If you're rocking with us, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Also, you can check us out on YouTube. Just visit youtube.com/allthingscovered. Make sure you hit your alert button so you can get alert of all our great content right away. Pat P, we got another amazing show, so let's get to it. First quarter, kickoff time. You guys know how we do. It's time for the SKOL check-in. SKOL check-in. Unfortunately, it was a loss. Sunday night football, national televised game. 2 degrees outside the frozen tundra, Lambeau Field. A huge opportunity for the Minnesota Vikings. They squandered away, needing to win that ball game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Unfortunately, the Green Bay Packers got some get back from a loss earlier to the Minnesota Vikings. Pat P, tough loss. First and foremost, before we jump into the ins and outs of the ball game, what was your reaction, your initial reaction when you found out your star quarterback, franchise quarterback, and Kirk Cousins wouldn't be able to play because of COVID?
I knew it was going to be even more of an uphill battle. Not going with fully armored, into a battle. You always have, thoughts, of what could happen, but also want to be in a good mindset of, believing and trusting in the guys that, number is called, and not saying that we didn't, we had all the trust in Sean, but we knew the system would be different because obviously the plays would be called a little different with the coordinator not really having, time to call plays with a backup versus a starter. So we knew at the end of the day, it would be an uphill battle, for sure, going into Green Bay, night game, not fully equipped to play a high-powered team like Green Bay, in a meaningful game that it was. But, I thought we had a great week of preparation, but, obviously it was outmanned in that game and, we didn't come out on top.
Man, give us an in-depth look, take us in the locker room for the defensive guys. Knowing that your star quarterback won't be in uniform, won't participate, knowing that you basically got a guy who's not familiar with what you guys are doing offensively and just threw him into the fire. How much pressure was instantly put on you guys as defenders, knowing that, man, we got to really play flawless football for us to have an opportunity to win the ball game. And I must say, though, Pat P, I must say this. You guys did start off playing real good football. You forced field goals, you forced 4 downs and out. So you did a real good job to start the game off. But of course, you wasn't able to sustain that level of play. But fill us in on the pressure that you guys had to endure, knowing that Kirk Cousins wouldn't participate.
It was a lot of pressure on us, as a defense, knowing going into that game, we were going to have to force turnovers, keep the field position, try to, create field position for the offense by create turnovers. But we know at the same time, Aaron Rodgers, he don't turn the ball over. So, we try to make a point of emphasis of getting the ball off the receivers, the running backs, when we get around them and have opportunities to sack them, get the ball off them that way. But we know he's one of the smartest quarterbacks when it comes to throwing the ball to his guys and not to the other team. So we knew that was going to be a stretch for us, number one. But like you said, it was, a lot of pressure was on us to play flawless, because, we couldn't afford any, my bads or any bad downs because, our back was already against the wall as it was. And, as a defense, that's what you kind of want to do anyway, have the team on your back and be able to prevail and try to come through and win a game like that on the road for your team. But like I said, unfortunately, we wasn't able to hold on to that, that momentum that we had in the first quarter. And the second quarter, it kind of started dwindling away from us. To score before halftime. And, after half, we wasn't able to, stop them from doing anything. So it was a tough game to be a part of, knowing how much we was able to, put in that week. Then we got the bone crushing news that Kirk wasn't going to be able to, travel with us. We knew that it was definitely going to be a tough game for us to fight and claw out for sure.
How much did COVID play spoiler to you guys this season? I mean, you look at some of the notable names that missed ball games because of COVID. The year, it seems like, your quarterback missed time, Harrison Smith missed time, Adam, Dalvin Cook hit that game. Dalvin Cook missed 2 weeks ago, caused me my fantasy championship. Left me out to dry. I'm just left me all the way out to dry, not playing in that ball game. So, tell your opinion about COVID. How much did it play spoiler to you guys this season?
I think it played a big spoiler, to our season. But at the same time, we had the guys available early on in the season when we lost those close games.
Yeah.
So,
at
the end of the day, it did play a role. But at the same time, we didn't do what we needed to do early on, to not even be in this position later on in the season.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
It's a lot played a role into this season. But I tell you this, man, I had a ton of fun. Obviously, I know we got one more game left, but I had a ton of fun with this group, especially having an opportunity to play with my boy Harrison. Being able to share lockers with having a locker next to Adam, an NFL great, seeing like I projected, seeing Justin do.
You did. You said that.
I said top three.
Wait a minute. You said that before training camp, or was it during training camp?
It was it was early, but being able to be on the sideline, see Justin's season unfold the way it did, being able to be a part of the Cookie Monster games.
Yeah.
Man, I had a blast, man. So it's been all nothing but great here for me, in this 1 year that I, been here with the team.
Yeah, and looking at what happened Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers, why do you think offensively the coaches decided to go with Sean instead of Kellen Mond?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Because they remember they used a third round pick on Kellen, which is a high pick. It's a high draft.
I don't know. I think maybe because obviously Sean's a veteran. It's a high stake game. He's familiar with more familiar with the offense than Kellen was. I think a lot could have played into that decision. I don't know exactly what played into that decision.
Yeah.
But obviously Sean got the call. They felt Sean was the best suited for the job, and that's what we went with.
Yeah. Why do you think they felt Sean was better equipped to handle that job instead of the third round pick and Kellen Mond?
Because, like I said, I feel like they felt like Sean had a better understanding of the offense, especially the state of that game. Like that was, win or go home. Cullen hasn't played, all year. You know what I mean? So, why would you put him in that position? Now I think Sean had a lot of game experience under his belt. Like I said, he understood, the position that the team was in and what we needed to accomplish to hold on to our season.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, they went with the veteran.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a talking point, for quite some time, because, many people felt like, well, this might be an opportunity for Kellen Mond. And then you use a third round pick on Kellen Mond, which is real high, especially for a quarterback. And then not seeing him given the opportunity that presented itself. So, it's going to be a talking point, but that was a discussion point for a lot of fans.
But then you got to look at it too. Sean was the backup all year.
Yeah. He was the number 2.
He was the number 2 all year.
And that's how it happens. The number 2, when number 1 is not there, 3 don't jump 2 to go be number 1.
It's just not happen.
It's not going to happen. But it is what it is right now. Transitioning to the Packers recap. Unfortunately, the Vikings lost the game 37-10. At what point do you believe the game kind of got out of hand? Because like I said earlier, I mean, defensively, man, you guys were blowing your back, playing some good football, forcing field goal opportunities, and then eventually the doors kicked open. At what point do you believe, Pat P, the game kind of got out of hand?
I'll probably say the second half, the second drive in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they, especially, being not able to move the ball on offense, and there's only so much you can do by being on the defense for so long with the prolific Hall of Fame quarterback. You know what I mean? So I'll probably say that second drive in the third quarter. Obviously the offense not being able to sustain drives. I knew it was going to be kind of hard for us to get back to that game.
And one thing that I noticed defensively for you guys, initially you didn't start off following Adams, and then eventually Devontae, he woke up, started making some plays, and then I think after halftime they decided to put you on Devontae the remainder of the way. Why wasn't they installing the game plan to start off like, we're gonna have 7 follow 17, and let's play good on good, great on great?
Initially, when we played those guys the first time, that was my responsibility, but I didn't have many opportunities to go up against them because it was moving around so much. So initially, we just went into the ball game of just trying to double him. Doubling him, and I just obviously get whoever comes to my side. But Aaron was just making some great throws, man. The throws he was making, it was almost unguardable. You know what I mean? He threw the Dumbo, the slot fade to Devontae. Both of those plays.
That slot fade.
The fade and the slot. The slot fade was just great throws. And, the touchdown that Chris, that was on Chris, that was another great throw. That was almost nothing that DB can do. That's almost the worst position that DB can be in. You're back against the quarterback, and he's throwing a back shoulder fade. You have no idea where that ball is.
I hate it.
So,
I hate it.
As DBs, that's just something that comes with our job. That's just something we have to live with and just try to be able to come out on the positive end, more than the negative side.
Yeah. And I remember last week, getting ready for the Packers ball game, you was telling people that you weren't going to wear sleeves and you were fired up about the 2-degree weather. You said you could have 1,000 hand warmers in your stomach area and in your leg and your toes. And then the game started, we see purple sleeves on. And I got a message from one of the fans. They instantly hit me and said, yo, I thought Pat P wasn't going to wear no sleeves. You had your sleeves on. Tell us, what was the decision for you? Why that decision to wear sleeves?
Hey, was it fresh or not, though, Matt?
You had the purple sleeves, but you supposed to have it was buys and tries week. I tell you, anytime you're playing in cold weather, you ain't wear no sleeves, but have your buys and tries, right?
Oh man, that weather was biting, Jack. I'm from Florida, man. That's it. I came out of locker room state. I went out and warm up. Listen, Matt, I literally, bro, went to warm up. I walked out the door. I didn't even go test the field. I walked out and went right back in the locker room.
Wait a minute. So you was still in the tunnel. You didn't even get to the grass.
Yeah, I was like, little baby, man, I ain't got nothing to prove.
You said, oh, no, we wearing sleeves tonight.
Put the sleeves on, Jack.
You was still cold, though? You still were cold?
Nah, actually, I was good with them. When I had the sleeves on, I was straight. I was sweating and everything, but dog.
How many hand warmers you had in your pouch area?
So dog, I upped it this week. So I put 2 in my thigh pads, 1 in my knee. So 2 in each thigh pad. So that's 4. 2 on each thigh. That's 4.
Yeah.
Now, so I tape them to my thigh pad, so it's on the inside, so it's touching my skin.
Yeah.
And I got 1 on the inside of my knee pads. So I got 6 right there on my legs. And I got 6 in my I went 7. I went 7 this week because I was my number. I put 7 in my jersey hand warmer. So what is that?
You put 7 in the jersey hand warmer alone.
Yeah.
But that's why you were sweating.
Yeah, man. I gotta keep that body temperature hot, Jack. Gotta stay up, man.
Yeah, so you literally had 7 hand warmers in your stomach area. That's why you were sweating.
Yep.
Yeah. But I tell people this all the time. When you play in that type of weather, when it's so super, super cold, it's cold initially. And then when you moving around, you sweating, man, you get hot. The
worst part of the game is actually the warm-up because you're not around any heaters. Like you're on the field for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the worst part. But once
you're really not moving as fast as you can, like game speed also.
Exactly. You just not moseying around, but still getting a good pace, getting your footing down, pack on the field and stuff like that. But you ain't around no heaters for about 30 minutes.
No question. So understanding and knowing what took place this past Sunday night, playing, throughout the entire season, granted playoffs are dead. Is the Green Bay Packers, the best team you guys faced all year?
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah. Yeah.
You think they have a legit shot to get to the Super Bowl this year?
I mean, they had a legit shot the last, 2 seasons? They just lost the NFC Championship.
They've been 13-3. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, they got an opportunity to do it again. Everything goes through Lambeau again. Hopefully they go for it this time.
Yeah. So you'll be okay in seeing the
Aaron
Packers.
was there.
You'll be okay in seeing the Packers win a Super Bowl?
No, I won't be okay with seeing that, but you asked me a question.
Yeah, I did. I did.
No,
I can tell you this
won't
much.
be okay saying that.
I can tell you this much. It'd be interesting to see exactly what happened if they get to a championship. Of course, make another deep, long playoff run, and what happens with Aaron Rodgers if he remains in Green Bay, if he's playing elsewhere. So that's the thing. You don't necessarily see quarterbacks leave after winning a championship or playing for a championship, or leaving as an MVP, because it's safe to say he's probably going to win the MVP award again.
Yeah.
So that's up for the Green Bay Packers to worry about. We're just going to sit here and watch and have the popcorn ready. So we'll see. Now it's time for the Bears preview. Last game of the season, week 18. Remember, this is the first time ever there will be 17 games, which is the equivalent to 18 weeks in the National Football League. Pat P, first time you guys played Chicago was Monday night in Chicago. Granted, you will be indoors. You beat the first time you played the Bears was Monday Night Football. You won 17-9 in the first meeting. Expectations for the team. Granted, this will be the last season. Don't have a shot to get into the postseason, but what are your expectations for this final game?
We definitely gonna come out and fight. That's my expectation. Now, I don't expect anything less. It's a divisional game. We know those guys don't like us. We don't like them. So we're trying to go out on a high note. It's nothing like winning. I don't care how you cut it. It's nothing like preparing to give it your all and getting the end result. And that's a dub. You know what I mean? So what better way to do that against a divisional opponent? You know what I mean? So we know it's going to be a hostile environment. We know the fans the SKOL Nation going to be there chanting and rooting us on, and we want to make sure that we end the season off with a bang. Yeah.
And speaking as an individual, Pat P, what do you plan? What would you like to accomplish in your last game here in Minnesota for the season, and knowing that you don't have any postseason to look forward to?
I want to get a goddamn ball thrown my way that I can actually intercept. I got to get a ball that I can't end the season with a goose. That'll be the first time in my NFL, well, not even in my NFL, my football career,
playing corner
that I would end the season with the interception. So I want a gettable ball, that I can pick off, because I've been getting like slants. If I did get occasionally a goal ball, they've been thrown out of bounds. So I haven't really got.
I thought you was gonna get a go ball Sunday night.
I did too, but I was playing them, so I was ready for them.
Yeah,
I was ready for every last one of them.
Well, heck, you playing against. It looks like, I don't know the status. Andy Dalton started the Bears-Giants game, and the game before that, Nick Foles started against Seattle. So we don't know who you might see at the quarterback position, but you still got to like that matchup. So let's see if they throw you one. And speaking of the most recent ball game for the Giants, the Chicago Bears, they played the Giants 29-3, dominating performance for Chicago. Robert Quinn had 18 sacks. He actually is now the sack leader in franchise history, surpassing the great Richard Dent. So this is, like you said, both teams. This is the final game. They don't like you guys. And the best thing you can do when you're not going into the playoffs is to win the last ball game.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. So mentally, you guys should be fired up. Do you think Kirk Cousins may play, or you really don't know?
I really don't know. I don't know the status at all of Kirk. I was honestly shocked, when we got the news. I think that was Thursday morning. I thought the guys was joking. Honestly, I was like, Kirk got COVID. I was like, come on, man. This ain't the time. You know what I mean? So when I saw that he wasn't there, I was like, oh yeah, it's real. So that's just as about as much news as I can give you. I hope we're able to have him for the final game. Luckily, they were able to the league, lower the days you have to be out. If you are if you do contain the virus. So I'm very optimistic that we will have them. So we'll see.
We'll see. But that's the next meeting, next ball game. Chicago traveling to Minnesota. Let's go ahead and get my prediction out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and go a high scoring affair. I'm gonna stop playing around. Let's go 34-29. Last game of the season, I'm picking the Vikings. Screw that.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Vikings. 34-29, Minnesota. Let's go. Big game from Justin Jefferson. Go ahead, Justin Jefferson. Go ahead and let's go 140.
Oh.
9 receptions, 140, and a tub.
Yeah, we need that.
9 receptions, 140 in a tub. Pat P, I'm not going to say you're going to get a pick because every time I say that, don't happen. So let's say Pat P, I'm going to just give a tackle stat for you, 5 tackles.
All right. I had that last week.
You had that last week? I'm going to go 5 tackles. I ain't going to say nothing about no PBUs. I ain't going to say nothing about no picks. But I just and Cookie Monster, it seems like it's a little personal matchup between Chicago. Whenever they play Dalvin Cook and Akeem, it seemed like him and Dalvin got a little personal vendetta going on. So it seemed like them boy got a little issue. But let's go ahead and get Dalvin about 20 carries for 96 yards and 2 tubs. That's what we're going to do. Let's see. We're going to clip it, save it. Let's see how close I come to greatness next week.
Let's get it.
Tap in to Around the League. Here's where we broadcast and give you guys some of the news that happened throughout the National Football League, in college football as well. We don't just tap in NFL news. We talking sports news, highlighting what everyone is talking about in your nearest barbershop or your nearest salon or locker room or cafeteria. Big time news coming from Tampa, actually happening in New York, the Big Apple. My former teammate, Antonio Brown, just opt out during a real game against the New York Jets. I'm sorry. Did you get a chance to see that? I know you were playing Sunday night. I but I know you heard about it. So what you got for me? Talk to me.
I couldn't believe my eyes, man. I could not believe my eyes, bro. I thought it was Photoshop.
No. Pat, you know what I thought it was? I thought they was replaying a pregame warm-up video.
Me too, bro. I'm like, this can't be real. He ain't got no shirt on, piecing out the crowd. I went to YouTube. I said, no, I gotta go to YouTube, man. Because when you got that Sunday night game, everything pushed back a little later. So I'm waking up around 9, 10.
Yeah. Exactly.
Catching my eyes. I'm like, no, man, this can't be real. I go on YouTube. Oh man, Antonio Brown. Man.
So you were surprised, you were shocked.
Very.
Then like what was going through your mind, Pat?
That's what I was thinking. What was going through his mind?
There are a few stories in regards to what led to that departure. Right. Mm-hmm. They're saying initially it was saying about some bonus incentive money. And then now we're hearing that he said he was injured. BA was not aware of any injury and was like, go back in the game. And AB said, no, I ain't going back in the game. And they kind of had a back and forth. And BA is like, well, you didn't go back in the game. You might as well leave. And I think he just took that literally and just left.
I can see that story being true right there.
And then, of course, Mike Evans tried to calm him down on the sideline while he was taking
I saw that.
And when AB already on that, he at that point of no return, he was like, man, screw all this. I'm gone. So let me ask you this question. You're still active. You're an active player. If you were a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster right now, would you want him? Would you feel like, no, don't cut him, give him another shot? Or you'd be like, man,
you got to go.
Tell us why.
I mean, because not only this is like your third or fourth chance, like God knows how many strikes that you had.
And remember, he just was suspended 3 games for the fake vax call.
Wasn't this his first game back or his second game back?
Second game back. First game was last week against Carolina.
Yeah, second game back. Obviously, you know the ice that you're on as it is.
Yeah. And Bruce Arians also said that there wouldn't be any more error, any room for error regarding AB. He did say that when they welcomed him back from that.
Man, you understand the situation. Like, I can't, obviously I don't know what was going through his mind. Obviously something pushed him to that limit to do what he was able to do. But yeah, he got to go, man. You got to, because it's more than a distraction now. Like it's internal. Like, you know what I mean? Like we can't function with nobody like that on the squad. You know what I mean? So Because at the end of the day, how can we focus on winning a championship when we don't know how this person gonna act when something don't go his way? You know what I mean? We supposed to be in this thing together.
And also, too, you look at his behavior after it happened. It wasn't like he went into the locker room and he kind of thought about it like, man, I screwed up. Let me wait for the guys. Let me apologize, the right way, man to man, team to, to my teammates and my coaches, and let's try to see if we can make it right. He instantly left, called the driver. The driver went viral with him, video him in the back of the seat. You see that video? Yeah. The driver like, man, we about to go viral. Here go AB. He had AB in the back seat. AB,
Where did they go?
I don't know. They was in the city somewhere. I don't know. They was in New York.
Wow.
New York. And then, he put on Instagram about, he said.
Hey, I heard he dropped a diss track.
He did a track. He had a song waiting. So he dropped the track. But then he said, he left because he a super gremlin or something like that. The Kodak Black. Yeah. So now when you see all that, you see he ain't even remorseful. You know what I mean? It's like, but my thing is this is the biggest issue I have. If you had an issue with the coach, BA, that's the issue between you and him. Don't bail on the teammates. Your teammates ain't have nothing to do with whatever you and the coach had going on. Right. You're there to go to war with us. And then at that time they were losing. So don't quit on us. If you have an issue, you and BA get to the bottom of that issue whenever you can. But right now, we still need you. Don't bail on us.
But that's the thing about obviously I haven't never been a teammate of his, but that's been his MO is AB show or no show.
And speaking of that, do you think his career is over?
I mean, it's hard to say because you would think that it would be over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Off some of the things that he's done. But it's hard to say, man, because he had this many strikes. Hell, who knows who will be willing to give him another strike?
I think about this. I think it is too. But the reason he got the opportunity to go to New England was because of Tom. Tom played a big part in him going to New England.
I think now there's no one that can handle him. So I think it's probably.
And Tom also played a big part in him getting to Tampa.
Right.
So Tom is a voice that we all would respect. I don't know if there's anybody that will be willing to go on the line for him now, seeing exactly what he did in his last stint. Not to mention the respect that, remember, he talked so highly of Tom Brady. So now you're just basically telling Tom, man, forget everything you did. Remember, he stayed at Tom Brady's house when he first got to Tampa.
I know, man.
Like, it's a sad story. This might be one of the biggest falls from grace when it comes to productivity that were not substance related based on what we know. Usually guys' career end because of some type of substance abuse. Yeah. His career probably is ending because he just don't know how to behave.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yes, I think he's a Hall of Famer. No doubt about it. He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Will he get? Yes. Will he get in the Hall?
I don't know.
Will he get in the Hall?
I think eventually he will.
You think so? That's a tough one, Pat.
It is, man. It really is. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, the Hall's supposed to be off what you do on the field, right? Yeah. Apparently, what he did off the field, it's almost, I know T.O. didn't go to this extent, but it's kind of like the same.
Well,
but I'm talking about in the standpoint of the time frame that Antonio Brown was able to do it. Obviously,
you talk about football talk. He no question, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot. Now, will he get in?
Right, and I'm just talking about obviously T.O. problem was like with the media, how the media perceived him
portrayed him. Yeah, because we've had. Who did we have on the show? And there was a teammate of T.O. and said he was a great guy.
Yeah, he said it was the greatest teammate. I can't think of it.
That was Marcus Spears.
Yeah.
That was Spears.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he was with Dallas.
And there have been a lot of people that played with T.O. that have said he was a great teammate. It seemed like the only issue that T.O. had with a former teammate was probably the Donovan McNabb situation.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is this. With AB.
Yeah, he got problems with his teammates.
It's more about because he kind of bailed on the Raiders.
Yeah.
Heck, he bailed on Pittsburgh. You remember that Cleveland game where he didn't play, but he stood on the sideline with a fur coat?
Yeah, he bailed on every team he played for.
And then I think what will hurt him in getting into the Hall, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm just giving my honest opinion. What he did Sunday on the field was visible for everybody.
Yeah, that's embarrassing to Shield.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like we see that. We saw that. We didn't see everything that happened in Pittsburgh behind the scenes. Yeah. We didn't see everything that happened in the
It came to light. It came to light for sure.
That right there was visible.
Brighter light. Yeah.
Like you said, when you saw that, you was like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah. I was like, this can't be real.
I thought it was pregame warm-up. I said, why are they showing pregame warm-up while the game has already been played? Well, I mean, hopefully, my thing is this. I think there are so many people that may be associated with him that don't want to speak up and say, all right, bro, you tripping. You know what I mean? Because, come on, bro. Like, if AB just kept his head straight, AB would have been, I felt like his trajectory was headed to one of the best to ever play the game. Like, it was going to be Jerry Rice. It was going to be Antonio Brown. That's how I feel. If he never jumped off course in Pittsburgh, he was going to be right there. When you talk about the greatest wide receivers ever do it, you're going to have to talk about Jerry Rice, and he's going to have to talk about Antonio Brown. I don't care what anybody say. That man, and you saw him in his prime, you played against him, man, it didn't matter.
He's special, man. He was, man.
And that's why it's so sad. It's like, man, the way he was able to be an influencer in the game. So many people looked up to him that didn't know him because of his work ethic and how successful he was. And just to kind of crumble it up and throw it in the trash can. That's tough, bro.
Yeah.
That's and the thing about this, though, Pat P, the man was away from the game for over a year, jumped right back in and was taking names.
Right.
Think about what he was doing last year. Heck, he missed 3 games because when he was hurt and he was suspended last week.
15 targets.
And brought in 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he was doing it against Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
So, you know how some guys are not still able to dominate, especially being away from the game. Man, AB, think about some of the guys that AB kind of dominated along with, like the Julio Joneses of the world, right? You can throw in AJ Green.
Yeah.
DeAndre's younger than him, but of course, DeAndre's still in that mix.
Yeah.
Man, right. And DeAndre's hurt right now, so he's not really in that category, but Julio ain't doing what Antonio was doing before this whole issue happened.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. We're going to see, but that's a talking point, but I don't know if he gets into the Hall. I don't know if he plays again, and I hope everything works out for his best interest and being just a better person. And in other news regarding NFL-related information, unfortunately, Pat P, we didn't get an opportunity to touch on this subject. We lost a great, iconic individual. The NFL did, the world did, and John Madden. He passed last Tuesday. Remember, we recorded our episode last Monday, and Madden was the guy. You know, if Madden recognized you as being one of the best players in your position, that was bigger than making the All-Pro. That was bigger than making Pro Bowls or whatever the case may be. But I know I don't think Madden didn't get a chance to call any of your games, did he?
No, but I watched some games that he called, though.
Hey, I remember my first Super Bowl in 2005. John Madden called that game.
Oh, yeah.
And when I found out, I was like, oh, shoot, boy, this man either going to call my name for doing something good or bad. But he
gonna recognize you.
He gonna recognize me. I hope it's for good, but I know something. He gonna call my name either or for good or bad. I just gotta be ready to embrace whatever happens with why he's calling my name. But tell us about how impactful John Madden was for you. And you're younger than me, like you didn't get a chance to have him call one of your games, but you knew of John Madden, you respected him. Why was that, Pat P?
Oh man, just his legacy, speaks for itself, what he was able to do as a coach, and just his personality as a broadcaster. It just really, blossomed in the booth. The way he was able to talk about the game, how charismatic he was, with his comments, how he interacted who was the guy he was with?
Pat Summerall. It was Pat
Matt
Summerall.
Summerall. How those guys?
Pat Summerall.
Pat Summerall.
Yep.
How those guys interacted with one another. It was just a beautiful thing, and I just remember always watching the game because he always did the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving's game, and that's when he was giving out. He used to give out the 6-wing,
the turkey, 6-leg turkey,
6-leg turkey. Yeah. So that was always like always one of my things that I used to. And if I'm not mistaken, he used to do Monday Night Football too, right?
I think he did a little bit. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he did do a little bit of Monday Night Football. I thought that was always dope too, because the old Monday night theme song with the
guy in the hat and the guitar.
Yes,
Hank. God, what was Hank's name?
I couldn't tell you.
Are you ready for some football?
Yes, man. So that, and you had John Madden coming in, and obviously, John, he did do Monday Night Football.
Hank Williams.
Hank Williams. So it was, just always seeing that iconic moment, and I always wanted, to be on that stage, be able to play in the game, like you said, with John Madden calling my name, because, like you said, if he recognized you as being one of the best players in your position, you have arrived. And I wanted to be, recognized in his eyes as well. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that opportunity. But like I said, I was able to watch him do his broadcasting when he was out of coaching, for sure.
Yeah. And what people might forget, he started coaching at 33. He retired, I think, at 40, 41. So he didn't coach long, but he was so dominant in the years that he coached, and then going to the booth, he brought coaching to a booth. I remember oftentimes he would use the pen, and would be drawn on your screen. Here's this guy going to move here, and then before you know, he got circles all over the screen. He's like, man, I'm confused, but I actually learned at the same time. How does that make any sense? How you confuse me, but I actually learned something. But John Madden was the ultimate innovator, and then also when it came to the video game, Madden.
Oh yeah, that's it. Says it all.
Oh no! You had to get the newest Madden that was coming out. Pat P, who was the best Madden player you ever seen?
The best Madden player I ever seen?
Yeah,
it's not you for sure. If that's what you was looking for.
What? Say it. What you say? What do you say? That me? What do you mean? What? Huh? Man,
it's not you. That's what you was looking for, Matt.
You couldn't beat me. What you mean? This man, you must have got some wine.
Because I couldn't beat you. That made you the best Madden player that I've seen.
Yes, because you couldn't beat me. If you could beat me, then I wouldn't be the best. What you mean?
No, I really didn't even play Madden like that.
You played college?
Yeah, I just put 60 on everybody.
No, you ain't put no 60 on everybody. You got the lies.
But the best Madden player that I've seen, man, probably had to be one of the dudes from the hood, man. Like, I can't even remember his name.
Talking about Pompano?
Yeah, dog. Because you remember when Mad came out, you had like these little cliques at the time, going around hood to hood, betting money. Man, I cannot remember this dude's name, but dog, he could not lose. And he was it was literally like, that's when video gaming was not video gaming now. Like, it was like you go into somebody's house, creating your own environment. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's how it was. I remember it was like a tent in Kyer City, bro. They had a generator, the game, and a tent, bro. It was like it was a little league football game, bro. Like, it had about, every bit of probably less than about 90 people there, but just being there, watching two people play a video game, and you got 90 people surrounding you watching it. You know what I mean? So
that's it. Yeah.
Those are just some of the memories that I remember growing up, and I guess the camaraderie that Madden brought, to the culture as well.
Look here, my rookie year in Pittsburgh, they had a Madden tournament during training camp, during your free time. And of course, I won that Madden tournament because fresh out of college, that's all I did was play football, video games, and school. That's it. So I had a lot of time to really perfect my craft. And I remember my freshman year during the season. No, we had just broke camp. Season hadn't started yet. So I get an invite to go to Deuce Staley's crib. So they were playing Boo Ray at the time. And I wasn't a Blu-ray player, so I was just playing video games. And I remember Deuce had some homeboys from Columbia, South Carolina. Big time Madden players. So I'm just looking at them play. I'm quiet. I'm like, but then someone said, man, I bet Mac will beat your homeboy, Deuce. I bet he'll beat him. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, man, I bet Mac beat him. So I'm quiet. It's like, man, run it. Before you know it, they got all kind of bets coming in from every which way, right? Every which way, Pat P. So back then, I used to play with the Eagles. All right, so that Eagles was my squad. So I had a glitch formation. I would run goal line formation, but in my goal line formation, I would insert wide receivers that were fast. So that play action on that goal line, if you ain't careful, coming out, I'm running goal line formation. And with McNabb, who's a mobile quarterback, I would hit you with that play action. And boy, if you ain't careful, I'm going up top. Going up top. So, Pat P, I lied to you now. I'm playing the dude. And instead, you know how you grab your controller and you grab control like this? He put it in his lap and he was playing it like it was a keyboard.
Oh.
When I seen that, I said, oh, boy.
That man beat the snot out you, man.
Get one down. I wasn't even thinking. At the time, I wasn't really smart like that to be like, hey, I ain't playing unless y'all give me a percentage. We play it again. I whooped them again, right? So now they want to run it back to the third time. Like, yo, man, listen, I got to get some rest. I want to go. We could do it tomorrow. No, Mac, play them again. I said, no, man. You know how when you playing it,
I got you, man.
And you playing video game, you got to be into it like a real game. My morale was going down. The third time he beat me. But when that happened, even though he beat me that third time, it's like, boy, that young boy got something. Like I was the guy they called when people thought they had a guy. No, we're gonna call Mac. Mac, come. We got somebody for you, Mac. Yeah. I come over there like a prize fighter, man. I covered it like a prize fighter. Put my hood on. I ain't talking to nobody. Hey, man, I travel with my own controller. I ain't talking to nobody. Let's run it. Let's get it. But shout out to Madden, man. A lot of people won and lost money on Madden video game, man. Icon will forever be remembered. Last information before we transition to our ATC Awards. Kurt Herbstreit. Did you see his comments regarding kids opting out of bowl games?
No.
He said, because bowl games are taking place. You got college football playoffs and then you got normal bowl games. A lot of kids are opting out, getting ready for the National Football League. A lot of kids opting out, transferring. But he was basically saying this era of players don't love the game like the old era because they're opting out. Pat, you were a guy who forgo your senior year to get ready for the league. A lot of these kids are opting out in bowl games that are not the big name games to get ready for the NFL career, right? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, in the Sugar Bowl, Matt Corral, who's a guy who may get drafted in the first round, had an ankle injury. Yeah. Now, will it hurt his draft status? We don't know. But some players are doing that because they don't want to risk it. That one game won't necessarily make or break them, but why risk it if it's not a huge game? Yeah. What are your thoughts on Kurt Herbstreit basically saying a lot of players might not love the game like they used to based on their decision to opt out?
Yeah, I think this era is definitely a lot different. A lot of guys I think like when we was growing up, when we was playing, we had much more of a tougher mindset of like, we can run through a wall. Like we want to be on the field. Like no matter what, like we trying to play, you know what I mean? We trying to put on for the city. Yep. That was just something that meant something to us. And I just think now, I'm not necessarily saying that these guys are, taking the easy way out, but I can see in a sense, why they are opting out at the same time because, like we saw last night with the ankle injury with Ole Miss quarterback, anything can happen in that last game and to hurt your future. Yeah. For the NFL, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you went to school, not only to get your degree, but put yourself in the best position possible to get drafted high as possible. And if you feel like, obviously, like you said, that one game, if you've done enough in 13 games, you feel like you solidified yourself, why not? Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not, I don't see that hurting any players, going into a draft. Now, the thing I will say, that I kind of have like I'll hold my nose up to if a player opts out the whole season. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know we saw that during the COVID. Yeah. Yeah. But during COVID, the last two seasons, but I'll be kind of iffy of that for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? I agree with you. I think if a player decides to play, I tip my hat to him. If a player decides to not play, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Fans need to calm down sometimes when they see these players opt out. That's their personal decision. I'll give you an example of players that actually hurt themselves playing in a bowl. Jake Butt, a few years ago, University of Michigan, won the tight end award as the best collegiate tight end. Clearly was a guy that was going to get drafted, maybe worst case scenario in round 2. Played in the Orange Bowl against Florida State, tore his ACL, ended up getting drafted in the 5th round. And last time I checked, he's not on the active roster.
Yep.
If he opted out in that bowl game, safe to say that injury, ACL injury, don't happen. And he's probably in a better situation to still currently be in the league. Because let's keep it real. When you get drafted earlier, you have a better chance in making rosters. You have a little more leeway for mistakes than getting drafted in the 5th, 6th round. That's just the nature of the beast in the NFL. Remember Smith, Jalen Smith, the linebacker from Notre Dame. Played in the Fiesta Bowl and had nerve damage. Now,
I thought it was his knee, right?
It was his knee. It was his knee.
Yeah.
Now, he still got drafted, I think, in the 2nd round and got paid eventually. But think about how much they said he was probably going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
He was going to be a top 5 pick. So my thing is this, for fans that are criticizing these players, for analysts, people involved in the media, coaches, whatever the case may be, when these players decide to opt out and they're saying, oh, they owe it to the university, you're quitting on your team, you're quitting on your school. No, they're not. They're getting prepared for the next phase of their life, because in the NFL, in the football world, the biggest job interview is the NFL Combine. And if you have any element going into that interview, it could hamper, it could hurt it could hurt you in getting drafted higher, getting more stability, getting more structure, and getting more money. So this is a business decision. And then why don't give these coaches the same criticism?
When they don't coach in the bowl game.
Lincoln Riley bailed on Oklahoma.
Yeah. He didn't even tell his team. He said, well, I'm here. I ain't coaching at LSU. I know he did. I know he said he wasn't coaching at LSU, but he said, I'm here at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
2 days later, that boy didn't even tell his team bye.
He was out of there. He got mad. How dare you? Like, he was like, why are you asking this question? Then Brian Kelly. Think about Brian Kelly. Left Notre Dame.
Left them kids out the dry.
Left them kids all the way out the dry. All the way out the dry. Forget the
and some of them kids crying.
No question. They went there because of, not to mention, you still recruiting kids to go to Notre Dame, and you had in your mind, I'm probably leaving anyway. So these players can have a decision. This is their personal decision. Deal with it. Stop being so allowing.
But that goes back to like how players get viewed from upper management on all levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is it black and white? You know, why it just can't be, it is what it is. Everybody, you know what I mean, is on the same playing field.
Yeah, my thing is this, man. If a player want to opt out to get ready for a NFL opportunity, so be it. Because the same people that are criticizing these players, they ain't going to donate any money to them if something happened and their career is not there like it was before that injury. Like I said, Jake Butt probably would have been a 1st rounder. Worst case scenario, probably would have been a 2nd rounder. He ended up going 5th round to the Denver Broncos. Think about how much money he lost. Think about the structure he lost as well, because currently he's not on a active roster. Think about that. And like I said, Smith, he would have went top 5, probably no worse than top 10. He still got drafted in 2nd round. But think about how that injury hampered his professional career, because he never seemed like the same player he was in Notre Dame when he was playing for the Cowboys. And currently he's not on the roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just be mindful how you criticize. These are kids. Man, if their family is in agreement with them opting out, why does it bother you so much? You know why? Because you're selfish. You want to see them help your team win, or you want to see them help bring more money into your pockets, whatever the case may be. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Now it's time for ATC Awards.
Hey, you better be. Hey, I tell you what. Nobody else need to get the award. This one award need to just go to this kid.
Wait a minute. How you figure that? You had Tom Brady throw 400 yards.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Jackson.
Who?
What's the kid? Jackson Smith from Ohio State?
Oh, but we're gonna give this is the NFL. We're gonna
he taking everything.
Wait a minute. Hold on now, Pat P. Now you want to give Smith.
Yes, did you see the game, Mac? He put the team on his back, Mac. The kid had 300-something yards.
I had Ohio State. I bought the line down 2.5.
I know they probably did they come through for you?
Yes, they won by 3. Right. They won by 3.
Man, Mac, I saw that game, Mac. I was like, who is this kid?
Number 11. And mind you, they top 2 receivers opted out.
He came alive.
Boy, did he?
Hey, sophomore too, man.
From Texas.
Hey, war goes to him, Mac.
Okay, we will give it to your LSU alum too, Jamar Chase, but we gonna give
he had a good game too. But Jack, when I saw that kid go, I watched the whole game too.
Oh, you watched the Rose Bowl? The whole Rose Bowl.
That's probably why I'm so invested in it. Matt, I was like, dog, they triple up. They try to double team the man, triple team the man. The man called a pass with the man. One in the final touchdown, the dude holding his arm, he still caught it.
They could. I never seen a kid dominate a game.
That's what I'm saying, man. He trumped everybody. Tom Brady been doing it for 20 years. I ain't never seen a sophomore do what that kid did last night. Saturday night, man.
Man, he had 15 catches for 347 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 23 yards per reception.
And the man broke every record ever made.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Man, broke every record, man. That was quite the performance.
But let me give you this though, Pat P. Oh shoot!
So you want to still give it to Tom Brady?
I was gonna give it to Jamar Chase, but go ahead, we give it to Jackson. Shout out to Ohio State. But let me give you this though, Pat. Let me give you what he did against Michigan. He had 11 catches for 127. Michigan State, he had 10 catches for 105. Purdue, he had 9 catches for 139, and against Nebraska, he had 15 catches for 240.
So it's safe to say Jackson might be the guy next year, boy.
Whoa. What did you just read? You heard them numbers I just read to you?
Yes, I read them numbers. I ain't even seen none of that stuff. But when I saw him play in that Rose Bowl,
Pat, he had 15 catches for 240 against Nebraska.
Man, Mac, I'm telling you, when I saw that game, I was like, this kid's special, boy.
Yeah, he's going to be up for the Blitikoff Award.
Nice.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
And then you got Marvin Harrison Jr. going off. He had a quiet game.
He had
71 yards,
3 tubs. Yeah, that was quiet. That's a whisper game. Whisper. Hey, that boy CJ Stroud going to be right back at New York.
What's the quarterback name?
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ Stroud. He went crazy.
He had, hold on, what was his name? He had almost 600 yards.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
I'm not even an Ohio State fan, but that game, to see them boys claw back into that one, that was a hell of a game to watch.
I thought I was dead in the water initially because, like I said, I had Ohio State -2.5, and they just couldn't get no stops.
Hey, what was that other game? I bet you thought you were dead in the water too. They ended up winning by 11. I forgot who it was. Was it Michigan State? Were you on that Michigan State game?
No, I didn't touch Michigan State.
Because I saw the line on, I think it was like 4.
I touched Baylor.
Okay. I saw they end up going up by 3. Then the pick 6, they end up going.
Oh, that was Michigan State.
Yes,
that was Michigan State. Think about that bad beat.
Because you remember, I think they was only 4.5, and they was only up 3 at that point. In the pick 6,
and he scored a touchdown. Think about that. So you had some people jumping for joy, and some people laying over a toilet because they so mad they just throwing up everything. That's how it happens.
I can only imagine.
Okay, but Jackson Smith and Jigba, he gets the award. Yeah, I couldn't even do that in a video game.
Man, that kid went crazy, man. Shout out to Jackson, man.
Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Ohio State. ATC merchandise is available. Make sure you go get your hats, you go get your t-shirts, your undershirts, your hoodies. We got jogging pants, we got bags, we got Yetis, we got everything you need. Just make sure you check us out at store.cbssports.com.
Thanks again, and thanks to everyone for listening and watching. We'll be back soon where you can expect all things to be covered. Peace.